Hey, my fallen ones, and welcome to another Shen Pe Uts Taa-Neter production. I am your hostess and storyteller, Shen Pe. I know I said I wasn't going to come back for a while. I've been so busy, y'all. I've been working on my website. I've been working, finishing up my master thesis for my divinity degree. I've been working on getting my spiritual counseling certification. It's just been a whole lot. It's just been a whole lot. And I finally got together with the consultant. The paperwork is done. I'm just reviewing it and sending it to the IRS, and hopefully they can make a decision before they have all of these armed IRS agents. Like, what's up with that, boy? I tell you. Mm-mm-mm-mm. I know it's up with it, but I'm not here to talk about that today. Today, I'm here to talk about that new movie called The Woman King, I think it is, with one of my favorite actresses, Viola Davis. And I'm so sad that she's even playing that role. I think they should have gotten an African to play that role. I mean, they've been making all of these movies with black people in it, and they've been replacing American Negroes with African actors and actresses. So I don't know. I mean, they even had an African play, Harriet Tubman. I don't know why they couldn't get an African to play this role. But that goes a lot to say that, like being replaced, a lot of that is going, a lot of the roles are going to black immigrants, and it's not going to the American Negro. I'm so sad she had to she I'm just sad for her. I'm sad for her that, she took this role on to play. Um that says a lot to me from another perspective. Like, there is no work for her, you know, unless she's playing an African slaver, right? Like, it's just sad. It's just, and it speaks volumes, right? But yeah, I wanted to talk about that hashtag boycott woman king, and I'm also gonna add hashtag not my woman king, okay? you know, and it's just crazy. I want to talk about that. I want to talk about that today. I've heard someone say that, I've seen people watching, or I haven't seen people watching the movie, but I've seen reviews of people on TikTok, and these black people. I don't know if they're American descendant of slavery. I don't know if they're black immigrants. I don't know. It's just black people. Oh, disclaimer: I am not black no more. I want to be white. Okay. I'm not black no more. I want to be white. And let me go ahead with my other disclaimer before I get into this. And I'm gonna try to keep this brief, because I really didn't even want to come on here and talk about it. I'm gonna try to keep this brief, but the spirits has been getting at me. And again, I think this is a good opportunity, because one of the things, that I'm working in my ministry is to provide a safe space for specifically, not for black women, but this safe space is specifically for American descendants of slavery women and girls, okay? And I've been working on that, the lingo and the language and everything, so there won't like be any LGBTQ people coming up in there talking about, oh, you gotta accept me, or no white people coming up in, or Karen or and Becky coming up in there talking about, oh, you gotta accept me. So I had to, it's a lot. It's a lot. I just had to get it right so I won't have those problems, because I know, how bully the alphabet gang and Becky and Karen can be when you don't want to include them, and when you're just, exclusive. right? But this group, well, it will be everything else I will have will be open and available to the public, regardless of their gender, regardless of who they like to have sex with, regardless of their ethnicity, regardless of their culture, regardless of what part of the world they are in, right? All of that will be for the public. The only thing that will be exclusive is I will be doing like a monthly group meeting or monthly group sessions with exclusively um, American descendants of slavery. And I don't want to say what the name is yet because I didn't get that part together yet, but it's coming. But it will be an exclusive group for just American descendants of slavery, women and girls, and it will be like healing, emotional and spiritual healing, and we'll have like monthly group sessions, and it will be a safe space. It will not be on on any of these platforms where people's identities can be compromised or whatever anyone says can be compromised, like Patreon and Vimeo, and YouTube, right? Is going to exclusively be on my website. And we will do lives. I will do lives, and it will be like online, and it will be group sessions, so we can meet with women from all over the country, right? And yeah, so I'm really excited about that. I'm really excited about getting that together. And I think with this movie coming out, I think this is a good opportunity for me to stress that we do need a private space, right, for American descendants of slavery women, because it's like I've said before that there is no sisterhood, right? The only sisterhood that does exist is the Sisterhood of Satan. And in the Western Hemisphere, particularly in South America and Central America, she's called Pombagira, right? But I'm not going to get into that. All of this is going to be in the ministry on my website, and we're going to talk about all of those things, right? But this is a good opportunity to bring that up because of this movie, The Woman King. Like I said, hashtag not my woman king. Okay. Um, so I've seen like people reviewing the movie on TikTok. There's people on TikTok. Are you serious? What happened? Testing, testing, one, two, three, testing, testing. I just have too many things going on. I really didn't want to come up here. I have too. Okay, let me get rid of that. Okay, sorry, y'all. What was I saying? Yeah, so I was watching like people on TikTok and their reviews, right, for this movie. And like I said, I don't know specifically what their ethnicity is, if they're like, you know, if they're black immigrants, or if they are American descendants of slavery, or if they're just mutts like me, mixed ethnicities, right? So, or mixed tribes, right? Because, black people are very tribal people. And again, disclaimer, I'm not black no more. I want to be white. Um, Let me get to that other disclaimer. You have the right to remain vacuous. Anything you do not know will and can be used against you, most likely for profit, just like this movie here. And I'm a storyteller, and this video is for entertainment purposes only. Because Black people are not going to listen unless they're being entertained. So I'm going to entertain you today. Okay? So I was watching the reviews, and you have women on here and men. Oh yeah, it's a good movie. I didn't know. All of this history, and and yada 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 yada. Right? Basically they're saying, oh, they've been keeping information from us for so long. I mean, I don't even want to bother to ask who they are, right? Because the main point is nobody is keeping information from you or anybody else. Folks just don't bother to look for things. They don't bother to research things, to inquire about things, right? People want other people to do the looking, the asking, the inquiring. They want someone to hold them by the hand and say, hey, you, this is something you should find out more about. It really takes a whole lot of convincing, advertising, exposed flesh, subliminal messages, visual and emotional aids for folks to see that something is beneficial. It's like having to work on their lower, more primitive brain in order to get them to use their frontal lobe. And you know what? That's way too much work. So I feel Attorney Antonio Moore, I saw his last video. He was like, I don't want to call anybody stupid, but you know, that's a word that was not allowed in my household. No one could utter that word stupid, because to me that's a curse word, right? That's like you're cursing if you say stupid, right? But I used to think that too. It's like I was feeling I didn't want to come on, but the spirits were bothering me and telling me, I had to come on and do what I do, right? You know, um, it's a little off topic here, but my my given name is in the Bible, and the woman that I'm named after in the Bible, she was a prophetess, right? I'm just I'm just throwing that out there. And I'm throwing that out there because there's a lot of times when I feel like I'm up there in the ethers, right? I was up there in the ethers. I was happy, working hard, doing what I want, to progress the ministry, to, get my divinity degree, the master's, of course, right? And my spiritual guidance certificate. And they're like, no, you need to go back down there and talk to them folk, because they tripping. Like, what the heck? Oh my goodness. So I be like, oh, I don't want to have to come all the way from up there in the ethers to come all the way beneath me, literally, to say something that, like, I shouldn't even, like you should know this. I'm not gonna say you're stupid. I'm just saying that you should know this, right? This was the age of information, right? Now this is the age of karma. But we were in the age of information. Everything is available at your fingertips. Like, even if you don't want to read, they have audio books. Like, you can just listen. You don't even have to read anymore. It's like, yo. But yeah, I had to come all the way down here, out of my happy zone and from my own world, you know, to say this. Like, they're saying they didn't know, or they so glad that they saw this movie. I don't watch TV. I'm not going to incriminate myself, but I have like people who go ahead and spend money for cable TV, like Netflix, Stars, Amazon. I just use their password. You know what I'm saying? We all live in the same city, so I can use their password if I need to watch something. And I have access. If I don't have access to their password, I have access to, watch other stuff that or watch it somewhere else. and without paying for it. But if it's really like something that's still in the movie and I really want to see, then I'm subscribed to voodoo.com. I'm not advertising for them, but I've been subscribed to them for like maybe 15 years. They have free movies on there. I also have my movie library, but they also have movies that you can rent, and you have like 24 hours to watch them. And they also put movies on there that's still in the theaters. So I've been subscribed to them for like 15 years, right? And then there's another one called Crackle. Crackle, CrackleDot com. I've been subscribed to them for like maybe uh the same time that I got subscribed. Like, yeah, I would say maybe 15 years, right? Yeah. So yeah, when they first came out, and that's free. They're like free. It's just that you gotta watch commercials. But I like to go on there and watch like the Asian movies and stuff like that. My Asian dramas and stuff, right? But it's free. That's free. So like I still don't even really watch TV. Like it really has to be something like I don't watch TV, I watch movies. And a lot of times I watch movies to pick up the messages that I'm supposed to be picking up. Let me just put it like that. Like for you it's entertainment, but for me it's not. For me it's like, oh, okay, that's what's going on. Oh, okay, I see. So that's what's going on. Okay, that's what it is for me. It's not a form of entertainment for me. It's a form of learning. But for most people, like this movie here, is entertainment because it's time to wake up to this not so subliminal messaging they are doing on you people. Your men are cross-dressing eunuchs, murdered or thrown in jail, and your women are being caressed to be deviant sluts. Meanwhile, you people are very happy every time they throw you a bone. The Oscars are a damn joke. Any movie that supposedly portrays your history is a damn joke. These people made millions off of movies showing your pain and struggles, and none of that money is given to you to help your communities. Look, they bringing in all of them illegal aliens right now and putting them in your communities, and so they could suck up the rest of the resources that y'all don't even get. Like there was a big thing over here. They had to put that on the news. The black people in the homeless shelters were fighting the immigrants because they moving the black people around the homeless. It's a lot of homeless, and there's women out here homeless too, y'all. Don't get it twisted. Please don't get it twisted. It's a lot of homeless women out here, American descendants of slavery, male and female, all ages. Okay, so please stop. But they in here fighting these illegal immigrants in the shelters because what's happened is they're taking up their space and they're telling the black people that they got to move somewhere else. Yeah. Oh boy, I tell you. I know I shouldn't be laughing, but you know what? That's what happens when you don't fight for your. That's what happens when you don't fight for life. You know what I'm saying? Boy, I tell you. But yeah, so they got them in your communities. They're making millions of dollars off you with these movies, and they're not even helping you. It's the same damn cotton picking industry with a new look, right? Ebony and Jet magazine is not owned by you people. And I say you people because I'm not black no more. Okay? I want to be white. I'm not black no more. So Ebony and Jet magazine is not owned by you people and hasn't been for a long time. But you people still subscribe to that propaganda media BS. And it's not owned by you. BT is not owned by you. right? So basically, it's like you you own nothing, you control nothing. You control nothing, and I'm not speaking about black males. Because let me tell you something. If they're conquered, I'm conquered too. I'm just conquered too. I'm just as conquered as they are, right? So I'm not speaking about just black males, because I've been conquered, they are conquered, I've been conquered, and that's just the reality of it. And I'm telling you, the dominant society is not going to let you rise. You'll just continue to be their concubines. They're not going to let you rise, especially any higher than what they are, the white man, right? Brad, or Brandon, should I say. Brandon, Brandon and Joel. Brandon and Hezekiah. Okay. Not gonna let you rise. Okay. They are not gonna do that. They got they foot on the black man neck. They got they foot on your ass. It's just is what it is, right? You own nothing, you control nothing, and you simply live your life to exist while a ruling class is making every decision for you, right? And it is what it is. You people have $1 million sport players, $1 billion churches, and how the hell are you still at the bottom in this country? How are you still the bottom caste? I mean, Antonio Moore and Yvette Cornell talk about it all the time. Like the bottom caste. Like you the bottom caste, and they bringing these illegal immigrants over here to like use you as a doormat. Like they finna suck up whatever little bit of resources the your governments in your communities were hoarding, not giving it to you because they putting it in their pocket. But now they got the illegal immigrants to come over here and take care of. So the resources that should have went to you is fitting to go to them. So you got $1 million sport players, $1 billion churches, still the bottom caste in America. So when are you going to stop supporting mess that is no benefit to you? When are you going to start supporting each other? Does Congress have to make a law for that? You know, according to the Nielsen report, the American descendant of slavery consume about $1.3 trillion in expenditures, excuse me, which means like you don't make anything, men or women. You don't make shit. You don't make anything. You don't produce anything. You don't manufacture anything. But you're out here spending $1.3 trillion, according to the Nielsen report, right? And according to campaignmonitor.com, black people are major consumers in the American economy and spend more than $1 trillion a year on goods and services. I tell you, something wrong with that. Spending 1 point like and don't have nothing in here. Like, boy, I tell you. And you know, as a collective, black people around the world as a collective, they own less. than one half of 1% of our planet's wealth and resources. That's less than half of 1%. That's less than 0.5. Okay? That's less than 0.5 that you own as a collective on the entire planet in wealth and resources. This movie, the American Negro, the African diaspora, and the Africans on the dark continent must become present tense and come to terms with what happened and take responsibility for it. 50 Europeans didn't go into a big ass place like Africa and human traffic tens and millions of persons by force. And just to put how big Africa is, here is a picture. Just to put it in perspective for you, here's a picture of it with a whole bunch of different countries inside of Africa. And Africa is a continent, not a country. And I'm going to say it again, 50 Europeans didn't go into Africa and traffic 10 million people by force. Chattel slavery in the United States of America would not have been possible without the cooperation of African chiefs and kings. They pointed out the villages, the tribes, and provided logistical support, including the Dahomey women warrior soldiers. Okay? They worked for their king. I don't know if you can really even call them, in my perspective, they're not really warriors. They're more like footstools and fodder for, because they're male identified, and they did all of this because they were male identified for their king, Gezo. Gizo, however the hell you say his name. Okay? If I'm wrong, please correct me. They were male identified. Okay? So in my eyes, that's not a true warrior. You're a flunky. That's what you are. You're a flunky. You're fodder. You're food for the gods. They were male identified, and they worked for this African king from the Dahomey tribe, right? In the country of Benin, or Benin, however the hell you say it, whatever. Okay? I'm American. I'm American, okay? And I'm an American descendant of slavery, okay? Okay? Boy, I tell you, I can't believe y'all don't know this. Like, y'all just be so happy for somebody to throw you a bone, to make you feel good about yourself. Like, mm, desperation breeds contempt. And I see they have so much contempt for you people that they're going to go ahead and put a movie out here, and you're going to love it. They're going to put out a movie about the Dahomey women warriors, and they were so fierce and fighting. Yeah. Y'all are so desperate. Like, it breeds contempt. That's why they could put out a movie like that. That's why they could do that. I'm so disgusted. I'm as disgusted as I was when I was in South Korea watching you people talk about, I ain't gonna feed no McDonald's to no kids that don't belong to me. They ain't my kids. Why I gotta feed them McDonald's? Oh my God. See, that's why I didn't want to come up from the ethers and come down here. Let me try not to be condescending, because I really don't even like y'all. Like, for real, for real. I don't even like y'all. I don't even like y'all. Boy, I tell you. Chattel slavery in the United States of America would not have been possible without the cooperation of African chiefs and kings, and I'm going to get into that. They pointed out the villages, the tribes, and provided logistical support. To this day, in the 21st century, to this very day, what's today? September 26th? From this day, September 26th, the elite Black African families in Western Africa's wealth can be linked to the slave trade. Slavery was, is, and always will be an inside job. And there's so many layers to that, with the African chiefs and kings pointing out the logistics. You know, it's like I said before, weren't even the real African chiefs and kings, because those people were killed. They were killed off, and who came in their stead were these murderous thieves that killed them. Murderous, lying thieves that killed them. I tell you, I just can't. I just can't. So I just can't. Like, desperation breeds contempt, and you know, as a metaphysician, especially a melanated metaphysician, right? I'm going to say, and I think I have reiterated this, is when I was talking in my last video, when I said that I had no desire to go to Africa. Like, I have no desire to step my foot on that continent. You know, I remember back in the day, people was like, yeah, you know, Africa, the motherland, da, 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 yada, yada, yada. But I'm going to tell you like this. I'm the mother of humanity. So wherever the hell I rest my feet, wherever I place my feet, that's the motherland. Okay. And I'm saying that because right now I'm here in America. This is the motherland. Okay. And I say that without hesitation. Wherever the mother of humanity rests her feet is the motherland. Okay? Wherever she rests her feet and carries her womb, that's the motherland. Okay? Period. Desperation breeds contempt. And again, as a metaphysician, I just want to say that I have no desire to go to the continent of Africa. My ancestors who were slaves here in this country, who've been here since the 1700s, before the Revolutionary War, and that are cataloged in the Library of Congress with a whole bunch of other American descendant of slavery families. They've been here that long. Those ancestors' bones are buried here in this country, here in America. Their bones, no matter how it's being desecrated and dug up for people and real estate moguls to build and stuff, they're still buried here in this country. Their bones are over here. Those people who were resilient, even though they were a slave, they were resilient. They were raped. They were beaten. They were traumatized. All types of things. But if they weren't resilient, I wouldn't be here. I owe everything to them, and that's something that I don't take that fucking lightly. I just don't. I don't take that lightly. I don't take it lightly, and I don't have my sons take that shit lightly either. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them. I don't disrespect them. I go and vote every election. I go to school. If I can't go to school, I'm always learning, because that was something that was against the law that they weren't even allowed to do. You know, that warranted death if they even picked up a book and read it. Something that you people don't even do. Boy, I tell you. I don't take that lightly. I don't take my ancestors being slaves here in this country since the 1700s lightly. I don't take whatever they had to go through in order for me to be here today. I don't take it lightly. I don't disrespect them like that. And this movie is total disrespect because the Dahomey women, they were warriors for male identified. First of all, they were male identified, so they weren't really like no warriors to me, like I said. And then they were slave traders to make their king rich. Oh my God, I can't with you people. I can't with you people. I can't with you people. I was gonna talk about I was gonna well, let me just start off with this right here because I don't know if I even want to talk about Jameson whiskey who paid Africans 10 handkerchiefs to see them cannibalize an 11-year-old African child. Okay. Boy, I tell you. And um he was with an African who was a slave trader. See, this is I just don't get this. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have people that you people, you have these black African immigrants over here and in the media in Hollywood, on social media, that you people aspire, you people like, and just because they're melanin, or melanated, that's that's all that's necessary. That's all that's necessary for you to be riding a bra strap or to be riding a jock strap. You know, it's just they're just melanated. Well, let me tell you something. The universe and the cosmos, our great mother, she does not interpret colors. Okay, she interprets vibrations, right? And it's all according to where you're vibrating at, right? That's what matters. The color, what color you are, or how much melanin you have, or your level of melanin or lack thereof. And let me just say that everybody has melanin. Melanin, even Europeans have melanin, and white Americans have melanin. Everybody on the planet has melanin. Melanin is in each and every cell in your body, and you have over 300 trillion cells in your body, okay? So everybody has melanin. Melanin is in every freaking cell. I can't with you people, boy, I tell you. I can't. Everybody has melanin. So just because somebody is melanated, let me tell you something. That don't make them that don't mean anything. They can still be they can still be wicked and evil, disagreeable, satanic. I'm not even gonna get into that. I was gonna say something behind that, but it seems to me that to you people, all it matters is if that person is melanated or not. And here y'all are looking at these African immigrants taking your place, and then you're admiring it, right? And then they do this movie, and you're just sucking it all in. Like, I'm embarrassed. Like, I'm embarrassed. Like, I'm not black no more. I want to be white, boy. I tell you. I ain't like them Negroes over there. I ain't like them Negroes over there. Boy, I tell you. One of those actors, which one was it? I'm not sure. It's the one who did who has the TV show on HBO Or is it the other one that married the white dude that everybody was so happy for, who she had to beg to marry, by the way? And he said in the beginning it was just a sex thing. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's how the whole world see you anyway. Like they you're just the most sexualized creature on the planet. Like you're doing the slut walk, girl. You doing the slut walk. Okay, doing the slut walk, boy, I tell you. I don't know if it was Issa Rae or the other chick, right? One of them wrote a book about how their father was a one of them wrote a book about how their grandfather was a slave trader, and the girl is younger than me, so and she said her grandfather was a slave trader, and she didn't see anything wrong with the slave she had and grew up in her household that was just as melanated as her. She didn't see anything. She didn't think anything of it, being served breakfast by her every morning. Okay. She didn't think anything of it. It wasn't like it was no consequence to her. No consequence to her. And then the other one, I don't know if it was Issa Rae or the really dark girl who married the white dude who she begged to marry, and who he said, he liked the sex. They just used to have a lot of sex before he wasn't planning on asking her to marry him, and he probably wouldn't have done it if she wouldn't have asked. So I'm thinking that, she probably has more money than him. You know what I'm saying? She probably has more money than him, and that's probably why he was like, yeah, whatever, she's a big world superstar for now, she could take care of him. You understand what I'm saying? But I don't know if it was her or Issa Rae who said when they went to school, they here in America, they got a bachelor's degree in black studies, and the father was like, what are you going to do with a degree in black studies? Like, you're wasting your time, you know. But and these American Negro women look up to these women. I see them on social media. So I'm like, yeah, you did good, girl. You did good, girl, because she got melanin. And in the meantime, you got melanated chicks over here, sending sex offenders, registered sex offenders, to check out and inspect your home. Boy, I tell you, I can't with you people. I just let me continue. Let me continue. Boy, I tell you. So this picture here you see was painted by Octavius Oakley in 1851, and it's called the Dahoman Captive. Dahoman as the Dahomey. Okay. Now, this little girl you see here, despite the fact that she was the first black bride of Windsor and the first black member of the British royal family, she's really mentioned in the conversation about upper class Victorian Britain. But this isn't about upper class Victorian Britain, this video that I'm doing. This is about American Negro women being so desperate to have an identity because they was cut off from their roots, which brings me back to what I was saying before. As a metaphysician, I understand that when we were sold over here by African people from different tribes up and down the West Coast, when we were sold over here, it was through tribal wars, right? And one of the things you have to understand is that these people do not they don't do like they never really like did prison and execution, right? If you were to be punished, the punishment was to exile you. You're exiled. You're exiled from your community. You're exiled from your tribe, because when you're cut off from your roots, for an African person, that's worse than death. And like you could see it here now, like spiritual death is the first death. The second death is, 6 feet under the dirt nap, right? That's, you can see it here. A lot of people walking around here, they're dead. They're dead. They're dead. I see it. They're dead. They're like, they're dead. They're just walking like zombies, right? They're just walking around like zombies. They're dead. They're spiritually dead. Like they're so spiritually dead. They're on TikTok talking about how they so glad they went and saw this movie. Boy, I tell you. Boy, I tell you. Woo, I can't. One of the things that they did was that was done on purpose to sell us away rather than exile us to, and roam the land of Africa and end up like the Moors. I think I gave a history about that in my Juneteenth videos, right? You know, to do that, to cut somebody off from their roots is worse than death. You have no identity. You're cut off. It's bad. It's like really, really bad. And that was done intentionally. That's why I can't get with all of that uh Africa expedition, go back to Africa. I'm not going. I have no desire. I want to travel the world, but I have no desire to step my foot on that continent. I just don't. I just don't. I just don't. So I'm saying that because the American Negro is so desperate for, and like it's almost like they're so desperate for an identity because they've been cut off from their roots. But I'm here to tell you, you have an identity. You're an American. That's your identity, and you came from a resilient freaking people. That's why you're still here, right along with me. Because my ancestors that whose bones are buried here in this country couldn't have been the only resilient ones, or your ass wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be here. You have an identity. You're American. And you're an American descendant of slavery who is owed, not entitled to. You are owed reparations. It's not an entitlement. And it's not a handout. Reparations is a real fucking debt that's owed. The British finished paying reparations to the colonizers who lost their slaves in 2015. America gave reparations to the slave masters. America and the British gave reparations to the slave masters. The British just finished paying off the slave masters in 2015. They just finished paying that reparation to them. How come you didn't get your reparation? That's a debt that's owed to you. Like I said, Black Lives Matter only as a source of food, fuel, and entertainment. You're a commodity. You're a commodity. That's about to be replaced. Well, not about to be. You are being replaced. You're being replaced. You're being replaced. But you have an identity. Is no need to, you have an identity. You have one. And boy, I tell you. It's just so that movie is just so freaking disrespectful, but they can get away with that to people. They can just, get away with that, like I see game before, like you can't run game on me because I see it before you can even run that shit, right? Well, this little girl here, her name was, well, her Christian name, and I say that in quotes, was Sarah Forbes Bonetta. Queen Victoria calls her Sally. She was the goddaughter of Queen Victoria. She was a West African Egbado princess, and her name was Amoba, or Princess Amoba Aina. She was an orphan, and she was an orphan because there was a war between her tribe and the Dahomies. And they intended for her to be a human sacrifice. They was going to sacrifice her, cannibalize her. But she was saved by Frederick Forbes, a British naval officer who was on a mission in the autumn of 1849 to negotiate an end to the slave trade among the Dahomey. Okay? Now, before Queen Victoria's black goddaughter was Sarah Forbes Bonetta in England, she lived as an Egbado, I think that's how you say it, whatever the hell, Egbado princess, Amoba Aina in West Africa. She was sold into slavery at age 4 when her parents, tribal royalty of the Egbado clan, were killed in a brutal raid on her village by the notorious slave trading monarch King Gizzo, however the hell you say it, of Dahomey. Sarah was captured but spared death when Frederick E. Forbes, a British captain in the Royal Navy, arrived on behalf of Queen Victoria to convince the king to eliminate slavery from those areas. All accounts say that Forbes was so taken by the little girl and negotiated with the king, who offered her as a gift from the king of the blacks to the queen of the whites. Forbes was responsible for taking her back to England, at which point he also renamed her with his own surname, adding the Bonetta after his ship. His ship name was HMS Bonetta. Sarah Forbes Bonetta, as she became known, was 8 years old when she reached Britain. So she was orphaned at 4, and then she was 8 by the time she got to Britain. Captain Forbes wrote in his diary of his adopted African princess. She is a perfect genius. She now speaks English well and has a great talent for music. She has won the affections, with but few exceptions, of all who have known her. She is far in advance of any white child of her age in aptness of learning and strength of mind and affection. Now, she taught herself English while she was on that boat on her way to England. She taught herself, just like I taught myself how to read when I was like 3 or 4 years old. I was reading when I was 4. By the time I was 8, I read all the classics: Robinson Crusoe, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, Alice in Wonderland, Through the Looking Glass, Five Little Peppers, Little Women, Little Men. I read that shit by the time I was 8. By this point, she had already been orphaned, enslaved, stripped of her identity, and stolen from her country. Yet, on the voyage over, she managed to teach herself to speak English, showing her strength of character and intellectual capabilities, qualities which Queen Victoria was taken by. In England, she first lived with Captain Forbes' family. Then she was taken to Windsor Castle to see Queen Victoria, who recognized her potential and was impressed by the intelligence of the young girl. whom she called Sally fondly, and eventually began paying for her education and then adopted her. Now, when Captain Forbes died during Sarah's first year in England, Sarah returned to Africa to go to missionary school in Sierra Leone. And the Queen sent her there thinking that the damp weather in England would be bad for her health, right? But when she got there, Sally was really unhappy. And in 1855, Queen Victoria agreed for her to return back to England. And she lived a comfortable life with patrons in Gillingham and then Brighton. Queen Victoria remained Sally's friend and protector until she was old enough to marry. In August of 1862, Sally reluctantly submitted to marriage with James Davis, a Yoruba businessman. It seems that Sally put up resistance, but having deemed him suitable, the Queen put pressure on her to accede to his request. The wedding in Brighton was extravagant. There were 16 bridesmaids, and the wedding party was made up of white ladies with African gentlemen and African ladies with white gentlemen. In the height of summer 1862, a wedding party like no other strolled through Brighton. It featured 10 carriages of white and African high society people making their way to St. Nicholas Church. The African high society people would be the children of the kings of African countries in Africa that sent their children abroad to be educated, mainly in the UK and in France, but mainly in the UK. Mainly in the UK. They said that's why a whole lot of them are over there now. They're the descendants of those people. Okay, of they're the descendants of the people of the kings and the slave traders who got wealth through the slave trade and sent their children. I said this before. I said this in my last video when I was running down the history, because like y'all are like really sleeping. Ain't nobody woke. And anyway, all woke means is you conscious. And fuck zombies. Excuse the French because I was trying not to curse, but zombies are conscious. Okay, I know you see. I love zombie movies. Okay, zombies are conscious. They can't be unconscious walking around here eating people brains, right? They're conscious. Zombies are conscious. That's all woke mean, is that you're conscious. You people are asleep and y'all in a deep sleep. But let me continue. Let me continue. Boy, I tell you, high society Africans, yeah, those are the children of the people. They sent their kids over here to be educated. They sent them to the UK and to the New World. It used to be called the New World. It was called the New World for a long time until after the what's that war? The Revolutionary War in 1776. They called it, and I'm talking about the Europeans. The Europeans called it the New World. The British Crown called it the New World. After the Revolutionary War between the white people in America and the Europeans, or the British people and the British Crown, because the British people don't consider themselves European. They just consider themselves British. After that Revolutionary War, they began calling it the colonies. They didn't call it the New Worlds anymore. It was just the colonies. So if you go over there, they'll, if you hear them like, oh, you're from the colonies, they're talking about America. Okay. I don't think they will ever like say America. Like I've never heard a British person even it's like if they do it, it's a curse to their own crown. Like if they even utter the word America, I think that's like a really deep psychological thing, but I've never heard them say that. I've never heard them say that. They'll either say the states or the colonies. Yeah, but anyway, the African high society, they were brought over here into and also in the British UK to be educated. And even Antonio Moore brought that up in his last video. Y'all go check out that video. Go check that video out, because I don't understand how y'all over here champion your own demise. Like, what the hell? Boy, I tell you. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's because y'all don't want to deal with the fact that y'all are descended from American slaves. Y'all like, I wasn't no slave. My great 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 grandmama wasn't no slave. Boy, I tell you. Boy, I tell you. Boy, I tell you. Child. Even if you were here, like them Hebrew Israelites or whatever they call themselves, they say that they wasn't slaves. They say that slavery was a myth, that there was no slave ships, and that they was already here. Well, even if your black ass was already here, the Europeans still came over here and made you a slave, because if that wasn't the case, then you would be autonomous on your own land or in reservations like the Native Americans, okay? And you wouldn't be out here with the rest of us Negroes. Boy, I tell you. I can't with you people. Let me continue. So the wedding was in 1862, and it featured 10 carriages of white and African high society people making their way to St. Nicholas Church. So they were there for the wedding of Princess Amoba Aina of Africa, Queen Victoria's adopted black goddaughter, later known as Sarah Forbes Bonetta. The Brighton Gazette reported that the young bride, then aged 19, wore a white silk wedding dress and a headdress of orange blossom, and was attended by no less than 16 bridesmaids. It described the wedding party entering the church, white ladies with African gentlemen and African ladies with white gentlemen, until all the space was filled. And that the guests attended a grand wedding breakfast at another location at Brighton. After their wedding, the couple lived briefly in Brighton's Seven Dials at 17 Clifton Hill before returning to Sierra Leone, Davis' homeland. Here, Sarah was a teacher and gave birth to a daughter whom she named Victoria in honor of the Queen, who also became the child's godmother. She visited the Queen in 1867 with her daughter Victoria, and then returned to Lagos, where she had two more children. Sadly, Sally was in poor health for some time. She had tuberculosis, and she died at the tender age of 37 in 1880. She was buried in Funchal, which is a city in Mandaria Island, Portugal. I'm sorry, y'all, if I'm butchering up these names, but I'm American. you know, I don't have to be intelligent. Anyway, upon her death, the Queen wrote in her diary, "Saw poor Victoria Davis, my black godchild, who learnt this morning of the death of her dear mother. Queen Victoria was so proud of Sally's daughter that when she passed her music examination, teachers and children had a day's holiday." Sarah's story, it shouldn't be romanticized. She did have a comfortable life, but she was somewhat unhappy. Her story shouldn't be romanticized. She got over here, well, she got across the pond to the British Crown by the way of the Dahomey, by the way of the Dahomey warriors who was capturing slaves for their king because they are male identified. And you know what? I'm just so disgusted with you people. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Like, yeah. Let me just my sources. I'm not even gonna speak about the other cannibalism. I don't even want to even go there. All you gotta know is that they're the reason, or they're part of the reason, because there were other tribes too who were selling human trafficking, bringing us over here. You know, um, yeah, they had a hand in it too. They had a hand in it too. The Dahomey tribe. The sources I got were from Queen Victoria, a biographical companion at Her Majesty's request, and the Brighton Gazette. All British resources. Okay, so you might want to take a look at that. And I just can't with you people. Like, desperation breeds contempt, and these people have so much contempt for you that the next movie they're gonna do, they're gonna because they already did the Black Panther, where they had the people in Africa not lifting a finger to do anything about slavery with all of that technology. And hey, you see, they you know, these people was part of it. They was a major part of the slave trade, not 50 Europeans. I'm telling you. Queen Victoria had to send Captain Forbes over there to the Dahomey and be like, yo, chill, Negro. Chill. Chill with the selling of these people. Stop. Come on. Oh my God. I can't with you people. I can't with you people. Like, what's wrong with y'all? Like, what is wrong with y'all? Boy, I tell you. Boy, I can't. Oh boy, I tell you, I can't with you people. I can't. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Yes, boycott. Um, boycott. Hashtag boycott woman king. Hashtag not my woman king. Cause I'm non-ether evolving God being. I'm a goddess and I'm a warrior. And there's no way in hell a warrior will a woman warrior, a goddess warrior is male identified. Okay. I am not male identified. I don't mess around with a male god. I don't worship the phallus. I don't worship the penis. I don't do that. Men are here to assist women. That is why they were created by Mother God. Boy, I tell you, let me just leave it at that. Cause I can't with these y'all just so desperate. They have contempt for you. Like I said, they did the Black Panthers. They were over there and not lifting a finger. And then they had the one who was supposed to be king. Go figure. He was an American descendant of slavery. He was supposed to be the king, right? So he what did they do? They killed him. Basically, to basically say the message I got for that was, don't even try to rise up, because not even your own people who you think is your own people is going to help you. Just because they got melanin, that don't mean shit. And you ain't never going to rise up, especially if you think people like, boy, I tell you. Yeah, that's what that movie told me. Because the dude who was supposed to be king, he was an American descendant of slavery in America. He was in America. He was supposed to be king, but what they did, they killed him, right? They killed him. And not only that, but his own half brother on the dark continent, boy, I can't with you people. Y'all stop it. Y'all stop it. Like, stop it, please. Like, you are a great people with an identity. You are great. You're here. The people you came from were great. Because if they weren't, you wouldn't be here. Stop it. Stop disrespecting the people who stop it. Stop it. Stop it. So next time for the contempt, they're gonna make a movie. The next Malcolm X movie they make, they're gonna put a white person. It won't even be a white person. It's gonna be a European. They're probably gonna get old boy who played Lionheart. He's gonna be Malcolm X because I think he's European. Boy, I tell you, Mel Gibson. Yeah, yeah, Mel Gibson. That's his name. That's his name, Mel Gibson. Yes, child. Boy, I tell you, I just can't with you people. So yeah, like y'all are just so stop it and just stop it and just realize that you're great, right? Like come to terms with that trauma. Come to terms with that trauma. Yeah, it's traumatizing, but you got to come to terms with it. Stop walking around here woke because, like I said, zombies are woke, right? They're conscious, you know. Like, I'm going to just leave it at that. Until next time, I'm going to just. I'm gonna just leave it at that. Until next time, stay safe. There's a recession, so I'm not even gonna tell you to stock up on food. A lot of y'all could afford to let your cells eat the deposits of fat within your body and stuff like that. Change your diet. Stop eating the processed foods. Do more exercise and yeah, because yeah, watch what you eat. Like, oh my goodness. I'm not even going to get into that either. I'll do that because you have to eat for your blood type. So, but stay away from the processed food. That's not good for any blood type. Processed food is not good for any blood type. So just try to stay away from that and just try to eat more naturally. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Just try to do that. Okay? Yeah, boy, I can't. I'll come back again, let y'all know when everything is up and running. Unless the spirits, I did want to come and say something about the Little Mermaid because I know that there's a tangent about that. But the only thing I'm gonna say about that is that Andromeda was an African princess, and they named she got a whole constellation in the cosmos named after her. Okay, a whole constellation, y'all. She was black. She was black, right? And I think it was Perseus who rescued her because she was also gonna supposed to go into a false marriage. But I think I spoke about that story before. I didn't get into too much detail. The history says that she was kidnapped, but HerStory says that was not the case. That she agreed to this arrangement, and Perseus, the Greek guy, saved her from that arrangement. So she was black. And Europe, the name Europa, she was also a black princess. Now that story is they said that Zeus kidnapped her on her big bull. Now I want to say that uh well, I can't really get into it, but the Greek gods and the African gods are the same. um they're the same except for the lesser gods, like the demigods, like uh 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 um like the Orishas. That's what they call them, I believe. In Africa, they call them the Orishas. And you got foolish American descendants of slavery going all the way over there to get initiated. Child, please. I was born in this. I remember even one of them goddamn whatever they call them, ephas, right? I guess was talking to me, trying to pick my brain and whatever. And I would say, what this dude told me? This dude was like, you go to Africa, they're gonna consider you a witch and burn you. I'm thinking to myself, how savage! Like, y'all are just savage. Anyway, but you're an Ifa dealing with Orishas doing black magic against other people, and but you would call me a witch and want to burn me at that. Child, please. It's in my blood, so I don't need to be initiated into anything. And boy, I tell you, uh, the Orishas are lesser gods. Those are demigods. So I'm talking about the the Anunnaki. I'm talking about them. Them and the Greek gods are like one and the same. Zeus is a rapist, so I kind of do believe that he did kidnap Europa. You know what I'm saying? Because he was just a straight up rape. Like he wasn't he going around just raping everybody? Oh, I can't say that on YouTube. Child, wasn't he going around sexually assaulting everybody? You know what I'm saying? Boy, I tell you. Um, Europa anyway is Europe is named after her. So Europa's people are like biracial. Europeans are biracial. And that's probably, I think that has a lot to do with why the British people don't even consider themselves European. They don't consider themselves European. They really don't. Um They don't consider themselves European. They call it they're Britons. They're Britons or Brits. That's it. Don't call them European. That's like insulting, right? Um, but Europe didn't wasn't called Europe until like officially it wasn't like at least in the literature and stuff like that. It wasn't called Europe until like three maybe 3 or 400 BC. Like, those people are young people. They're very, very young, and they're biracial. And even in the ruins of Pompeii, it even shows that in all of their paintings and stuff. Like, I don't know why they don't want to display that. Yeah, I do know why. But them people, they were biracial. They were like biracial. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, Europa's people, Europe is biracial. They're very ethnic. That's why, they have a lot of problems over there. But anyway, so that thing about the Little Mermaid, I think is just really foolish because there are African tales about mermaids. Like I read, I read. There are African tales about mermaids. There are Japanese tales about mermaids. There are Chinese tales about mermaids. There are Asian, like in all of Asia, there's tales about mermaids. In India, where it used to be Kush, tales about mermaids. Um, all in South Africa, around the middle, Central Africa, Madagascar, tales about mermaids. So uh boy, I tell you. Um, so this thing about mermaids not can't a mermaid can't be quote unquote black is just ignorant, and is ignorant by racist people. Like these people are really racist. And one thing I learned about racists is that they are stupid as fuck. Now, this is where I will use the word stupid. Like they are dumb. Racist people are dumb. Like for real, I kid you not. They dumb. Like they're dumb. They are dumb. But mermaids can be black. I even saw some black dude on here, jumping on the bandwagon, being mad. And he wasn't even just mad because the mermaid was black. He was mad because the little black girl's reactions, like they were like, "Oh, a black, she looks like me." He was mad about that. I'm like, you know what, Satan. Satan is their father, but let me go, y'all. I'll talk to y'all another day. I ain't gonna go there. Later, y'all.